So I put out a video about toxic leadership on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And one of the questions that came through was, but do toxic leaders know they're toxic? And it's a great question. Do toxic leaders actually know that they're being toxic? And the answer in what I've seen is yes and no. There are some leaders that absolutely know that they're not leading the best way possible. They know it, they sense it, they feel it. They're uncomfortable. They don't know how to solve it. They may not have the mentorship, the mentoring available to solve it. They may not want to go talk about it to one of their leaders, to one of their superiors, supervisors, because they don't want to seem like they're incompetent. There are absolutely people out there who are in leadership positions who know that their behaviors are not conducive to teamwork and team building. So yes. The second part is no, not all leaders know that they're exhibiting toxic behaviors. In fact, it goes back to beliefs. If I believe that what I'm doing is correct, oh, and by the way, this is an important point. Not every single person on the team may necessarily be experiencing the effects of toxic leadership. In fact, there are times where toxic leaders have people on the team who get validation from those teammates saying, you're not doing anything wrong, boss. I think you're doing everything fine. It's their problem. I think they have an issue. And so this leader now is getting validation from other people. So they don't believe that they're exhibiting any toxic work behaviors. They're getting validation. Everything's going great, boss. We're doing well. It's like, well, that's that person's problem. They have a problem. And that may very well be the case. But the question comes down to, what are we doing about it? What are we doing about it? How do we communicate with that individual if we do believe that there's an issue, tension, friction, a problem? As a leader, it would make sense to say, hey, I've noticed the following. But that's a hard conversation to have, because if you take that conversation and you build that trust and that psychological safety for that person, it's because you really want to know in order to grow and get better, and not to go talk to someone else about it and say, well, this is what they said. They question my leadership. They question my approach. They question. That's not going to help. In fact, that is the quickest way to erode and annihilate trust. So does a person know they're being toxic? Yes, sometimes they do. And no, sometimes they don't. Either way, if there is tension and friction within that team, the question is, have we created the right environment to discuss it openly and in a healthy manner where people feel heard, understood, and that the appropriate actions take place to ensure that we're all stepping forward and leading without fear?